and you just signed into Outside the Box with T-Rex on TAAN TV, the African American Network. We have a local feel and a global reach. Today we got some outstanding topics. Before I introduce my crew, I'm going to break it down to you. First, we're going to talk about the Mr. West thing that he brought up. That's going to be our main topic. Can't pronounce his first name. His name is Izzy now. Easy West or
Jeezy.
something. Easy, yeah. And then our main topic could be that's our main topic. Then, but before we get started, I'll bring the crew in, and then we'll start talking about a little bit that I want to stream on, and we'll give everybody 2 seconds to come back on that. Then we'll go right into the main topic. But first, I want to bring everybody in before I scream this out to everybody. So first, I'm going to talk to the only other fella on the show today, Big Verge. Tell me what you got going on.
Oh man, as always, it's always a pleasure to be here, big dog. Thank you for the opportunity. Hey, let's get into these hard to talk about topics.
I hear that. I hear that. Now we're gonna talk about. Hey, I don't know who to go first. Let me close my eyes and pick. Right, I got you, Darla. You can go first. How you doing, Darla? Tell us a little
Hey,
bit about yourself.
you know what? I'm coming to you from the land of quarantine and COVID. I got it for the first time ever, but every day's getting better. Glad to be with everyone.
That's outstanding. And last but definitely not least, my little stepdaughter. How she doing? She's a new auntie. Just Drea, tell us how it's going.
Hey, 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 it's Miss Drea J. I'm doing well on today. It's nice to see all of your guys' faces.
Oh, outstanding. Outstanding. Okay, now this is not part of the show. I just want to throw this out there real quick. It was a football game yesterday at Jackson State and Alabama State. And two head coaches, both famous names. First, the one of everybody that I'm going to say is Mr. Deion Sanders, the prime time coach of Jacksonville. He brought a lot to the SWAC area. He's doing very well. And the other coach for Alabama State was Mr. Eddie Robinson Jr. His daddy was the big coach down there at Grambling. And I don't know if y'all saw the little blurbs or whatever that they have on Facebook, but I actually saw it yesterday on the at the game. Uh, we all know Dion's got a little bit going on, so I understand what was going on with that, and I'm going to come back to it. But I want you guys just to remember and think about it, so when we hit on it, then we understand it. But first, let's get straight to the his egg with his egg, because I believe that Mr. West, I don't think he's out of his mind. I'm not going to say because I'm sure he's on his meds, but I want to know what y'all got to think about him with this new T-shirt talking about White Lives Matter. So, Andrea, since you was last, we'll make you first today. What do you think about this topic?
I think Kanye needs approval from white people. And that's why Kanye made that shirt of White Lives Matter. We go through this cycle every couple months with Kanye. He's going to be back
Mhm.
on the black side in about 2 or 3 weeks, where he's going to need validation from the black community about something that happened with Kim Kardashian or something else that's going on. But right now, he has Candace Owens on his side, and we already know what side she plays for. It's all about
Oh,
white
yes.
validation.
Ooh, that was amazing. All right, there, big fella. What you got to say?
Now, you know me, I'm always playing devil advocate, right? Kanye West is the king of controversy. Now think about it. Every time he have a new album out, every time he does a new product, he has to do something to shock so quote unquote pop culture. I think this is another attempt for him to go out there and shock the culture and to get everybody to talk about him and say, hey, look, this is my new fashion line. So for an example, if white lives matter to him so much, then why in a video with him and the rapper called The Game, he talked about Pete Davidson. It was a cartoon drawing, but he talked about killing Pete Davidson. Now, last time I checked, Pete Davidson is a white man. So if all white lives matter, then why are you want to flip flop and say you want to kill your ex or whoever she may be, baby mama, however you want to phrase it, why you want to kill her boyfriend if white lives matter? If you ask my personal opinion, I really think this is one of those ploys to say, hey, um, there's no bad media or bad press. If I can get people to talk about me, if I'm on their minds, hey, they'll look at my merchandise. They'll look at what I'm selling them. And, just to make yourself more relevant.
I think you hit the hammer on the head with the nail. All right, Darla, speak to us.
Well,
What you
I think
got
I'm
going?
going to have to agree a little bit more with what Virgil just said
Mm-hmm.
and say that he is definitely the king of controversy. Kanye is a different thinker. I think that he likes to stir things up. However, I don't know if he does these things as deliberately as it may seem to some. I think that he's just a little bit twisted with his thought process and it works to his
Mm-hmm.
advantage.
Wow. Well, I kind of agree with all y'all. I was checking it out. I read a little bit up on it, and uh, he was on some talk show. And I forgot the guy's name, Peter something, and he took off his red ball cap that said "Make America Great Again," in reference to not following Donald Trump. Uh, at that, and then he put his name on the ballot also a little bit for a minute. I think Conway is if y'all excuse my French, attention whore. He just wants he's getting a little love from everybody. I just keep it real
Right.
one. I don't mean to be nasty, but I think that Conway, I can't even say his name right. I call him Izzy or Zizzy or whatever. I believe that this young man is. I mean, you gotta relate because he's. I mean, he came from a little bit, and now the dude's a billionaire. I mean, you gotta like what he's doing. As far as all I think he's doing, I think most of the stuff is just coming out to be one of those political moves to try to get somebody to buy some stuff, and also to sway. He wasn't a Republican. He always said that if he was going to run for president and Donald Trump ran again, he would run independent instead of Republican. So I think you all hit that on the head. Is anybody else got anything else to add about this dude? Because I tell you, it's really hard for anyone to follow him. As everyone stated, one day he's pro-black, pro-abortion. Next day he's anti-everything. I mean, he said in that interview that he doesn't care about what anybody thinks. His only audience is God. Well, I'm not being stupid, but the last time I noticed, God don't pay for nothing. So
You're talking about the
I
interview with
mean,
Tucker?
yeah, with Tucker. Did y'all
Yeah.
see that one? What did y'all think of
Yeah.
that?
That was really interesting. I thought it was really interesting how he referenced his father being the most brilliant man that he knew and that he drew from him as a point of reference. That was interesting to me. But he did, to your point, he did talk a lot about how he doesn't answer to anyone. He's not doing anything for anyone but God, whoever that might be to Kanye. So, that was a completely interesting interview, but I am curious to know when Andrea says that he needs validation from white people, what she means by that.
Mhm.
Well, when you think about it, Kanye's not talking to us. He used to. I miss the old Kanye, right? I miss the college dropout Kanye when he was focused on the black community. This is not the Kanye that we remember or that we're used to. Well, now it's becoming more common to see him this way. So he had validation from us when he first started out in his career. But when you think about it, who's spending these hundreds of dollars on these clown shoes? You know what I mean? He's doing Fashion Week in Paris, but who's really his audience on buying those clothes? Is that really
Okay.
the black style? So he's not looking for validation from us. He's looking for those people who are dropping $300, $400, $500 on those ugly clothes.
Is that validation though, or is he just making money?
It's
Because then,
validation for Kanye.
to that extent, I would
Uh,
say he was brilliant.
Hmm.
well, that's what
Yeah, I
I
think he's
said.
just selling stuff. Go
Hmm.
ahead,
Right
bro.
now, ladies, let's be honest. Let's think about it. Like I said, he's the king of controversy. So if I can get you to talk about me, good, bad, or indifferent, I'm on your mind, right? I'm like right now, we're talking about him right now, and I'm sure he probably let him quote unquote tell it. He doesn't care. But what things that concerns me is the youth. Okay, we're all adults. We can filter through the BS, right? I'm worried about children like my son age who are 16 years old, listen to his music, and they get misconstrued between what's reality and what's entertainment. See, that's the key that makes him so dangerous. You understand? And there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong. Let's make this clear. all lives matter. Black lives matter, white lives matter. But you're taking a original slogan to point out a injustice that was going on to a particular minority group. Now you're making fun of it. Okay, now you're kind of playing on words. That's like when, if you guys remember when they said blue lives matter. Well, last time I checked, blue is not a life; it's a color. Okay, but they were referencing police officers. We never said that blue lives didn't matter. We're saying black lives matter, and the rate that the police officers were actually having interactions with the black community was astounding. You understand? So I just really feel you're making a mockery of what was meant for a good phrase, for a good cause, to stay on people's mind. Now you're making a mockery of it. Go ahead, T-Rex.
He's bipolar, and stuff. You know, I got a little bit of that mental health stuff going on with myself from the service, so I kind of get him, but I stay on my meds. And I think the biggest thing, the brother goes off his meds, he goes a little left, and I think everybody here is talking about the main thing, and I really get it. But I just want to understand why make so much fun of something that was so serious. Black Lives Matter. I agree with you, Verge. Every life matters. Every life matters. But Black Lives Matter wasn't about just black people. It was about police brutality to black people. And that's what we were talking about. That started with rest in peace, Mr. George Floyd. And it's been going on for ages. And I always said that there was a story, I don't want to say it real quick. It was about this Minneapolis police officer. He was a brother. He had a name. He shot a Caucasian woman. She was blonde hair, blue eyes, wearing a yellow dress. He was in court in Minnesota. And he said she reached into her purse, and I thought it was a weapon. And I really distinctly remember the district attorney saying to him, "You mean a white woman with blue hair and blonde hair and blue eyes in a yellow dress was a threat to you?" And I hear stories all the time. A guy was getting in his car. I don't know if y'all heard this story. He had his kids, and lady came up to him and said, "Hey, get out my car." A couple of young white guys came up, called him all kind of N-words and stuff of that nature. Next thing you know, the police come. They don't ask this gentleman anything. They just assume it's the lady's car. And then just out of the nick of understanding anything, one police officer said, "If it's your car, you got registration." That's all they had to say from the beginning. So Black lives does matter, because no matter what we do, there's Karens, there's in Barbies out there that always makes things a little harder on people because that's what they want to do. So I get it. And Kanye, I'm an older man. I just want to say one thing to you. Brother, slow down. You're amazing. Show the black youth of America what positive can do, instead of throwing a little bit of wrenches in there every now and then, accusing people what you're doing. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. You're an American first. I never said black, white, green, or purple. I said American first. And that's how we have to figure this out. So with that, I'm going to go to a station break. And the station break is you're watching TV. Thanks for tuning in to TAAN TV, the African American Network, where we have local feel and a global reach. And I think that we should talk about maybe a little bit about Dion now, if y'all want to. Y'all want to stay on Kanye for a minute. Talk about, I still can't say his name. Somebody say his name for me.
Kanye.
I mean, Kanye. I got the Tennessee twang. Kanye. I can't say Kanye. You know what? Thanks for now. I'm calling him something else anyway, so it don't matter. And that's not no disrespect to the young man. I mean, I got a child. I can't even pronounce her name too, so I don't go there. So go ahead. I know, darling, you got something to say about it.
Well, I do. I was more thinking about the topic of Black Lives Matter itself. And I mean, you said a lot of things. I don't know that I believe Kanye was making fun of, per se, as much as he was stirring up controversy. And you guys have probably heard the phrase before that all press is good press. And so he does draw attention, be it positive, negative, to the Black Lives Matter platform. So I do think that Kanye brings attention to something, and he stirs up enough controversy to get conversations going. And it's up
Mhm.
to us to be responsible to steer those conversations in the right direction. Kanye's an artist. He does creative and sometimes different and new things that we may or may not agree with. It's, art. And it depends upon how the person looking at it views that thing, or the person listening to it hears that thing, how it strikes a chord. But to Virgil's point earlier about his son and wanting to see positive images out there, I think it's up to us, people who are leaders in the community, who are not necessarily artists per se, to steer people on a path and a direction that's important, and make sure there's clarity surrounding these issues. So I don't know. I'm not completely mad at Kanye for the White Lives Matter shirt. I look at it and Kanye is something of a caricature. So it's just kind of Kanye. It's like he's something on Saturday Night Live. Do I get upset every time? No, I laugh. Because it's,
But
And I agree
but
with you,
darling,
Darla. But I'm sorry, Virg. I'm gonna say this real quick, and we'll go right to answer your question. He did say on that interview that he was just being funny. So that's
It's
that.
not funny.
Let's
It impacts
it is
people's
go ahead.
lives. It's not funny. you
It is
know?
not funny. It's not funny. You don't make fun of that.
Yeah. I don't think it's funny.
Go ahead, Virg. I'm
But
sorry.
making fun of and funny are two different things. I think, we're taking it out of context what he, Kanye's a weird thinker, you know what I mean? And I hate to go down the Kanye rabbit hole with him, but I think he's drawing something out to make a point of it. That's what I think he means by funny, not necessarily funny, haha, like it's a joke.
Right.
Kanye's not a comedian.
Darla, let me say you're adorable, and I appreciate you, my sister. But let me tell you why. And the reason why I say that is because, okay, so, and this is my personal opinion, okay? As men, we have a responsibility, especially our leaders, right? You're saying, okay, myself, Terry, we're leaders in our community, okay? But when you're a young man, a young woman, you look at entertainers, you look at the athletes, you look at people who the media pushes on the culture as a whole as someone as role models, okay? And Malcolm X, I believe he said it best, and don't quote me, whoever controls the media controls the message that goes out to the world, or controls the narrative, okay? And the reason why I say that is because you start creating this narrative, okay, white lives matter, on such a serious topic, and you kind of say shadow, okay, Black Lives Matter, you're kind of demeaning it, and you're kind of taking away from the original point from it. So
I agree.
And it's a dangerous tool. Kanye is in a position to be an influence. But what astounds me by this brother, what makes me concerned about him, is he has a platform. He can reach millions. He can actually change minds. And when you, in the Black community, especially as a Black man nowadays, I'm just going to call it, right? And in my opinion, it's like the Black man nowadays, we have to be docile. We have to be, what is the white word? I want to say so much.
Compliant.
Less masculine. Compliant, less masculine than what we originally are when you meet one of us face to face. And that's for society for the society to be able to accept us, to stomach us. So when Kanye West is being quote unquote creative, he's setting a dangerous precedent. And to me, when you set that precedent, people who may not have a father figure, people who have the wrong examples of what a man should be, or don't have a strong foundation of what a man should be, they're following Kanye. I.e., what's the brother, the running back? Help me out, Terry. The wide receiver
Herschel Walker.
Played for Steelers. Played for the Steelers. Well, Herschel's another topic.
He played for the Steelers.
AB. Antonio Brown.
Anthony Davis.
Antonio Brown. Okay, so let's think about Antonio Brown, correct? Antonio Brown is a phenomenal athlete, okay? But him and Kanye West started getting together. Now he's wearing Kanye West clothes. Now he's following the Kanye West, somewhat of the doctrine of Kanye West. And that's a very dangerous habit if you don't have enough free thinkers. And let's be honest, Darla, you know, and I know as a whole, people are how can I say this? They're more conforming than non-conforming. You
Well,
know what?
take
Let
a
me
quick
go on
station
what's
break.
popular.
That's
Let me
kind
get a
of the
quick
point
station
I was
break in there.
making is I never said I agree with Kanye. I just think that we should look at him and see him for what he is. Those of us who are talking here on a bigger scale.
Oh, I got you.
Clearly.
Let me throw the station break real quick, darling. Thank you for tuning in to TAAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel and a local reach. And you're listening to right now Out of Bounds with me and my crew. And here we go, continue. Go ahead, darling. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I was just saying, I was both agreeing with Virgil and just reinforcing what I was saying earlier, that he may not be the person that we want to put on the platform as our best icon, you know, for what should represent what Black America is today. I don't agree with that at all. Kanye is out there, but he is an artist.
Unfortunately, darling, I don't mean to cut you off. Yeah, when you have somebody of his caliber making statements and all that, especially on that wonderful network, Fox News, it kind of makes it kind of sticks with everyone. Like, this is what really is happening. I'm not going to bring up Herschel Walker. That's a whole different topic for today. But Andrea, you got anything real quick about this stuff before I try to sneak in with the other one?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask everybody: is this forgivable? And how many times do we move on and forgive Kanye? Because we know it's going to be something next month or next quarter. And that seems to be a pattern in our community. It's just we just forgive Kanye and we move on. So now we're mad about this. A few years ago, we were, George Bush didn't like black people. Slavery was a choice, and then we move on. But when is his black card revoked?
When he stopped making hits.
Unfortunately,
I stopped
forgiving Kanye a long time ago. I stopped taking him seriously a long time ago. Yeah.
Okay,
that's a really good question,
Andrea. That's a wonderful question. And if you everybody's got 30 seconds to give her a good answer real quick. Go ahead, darling. You can be first. You got a whopping 30 seconds.
I stopped taking him seriously a long time ago. That's why, for me, I don't look at his I know a lot of people see him, but I wonder how many people are actually taking him seriously, white, black, or other.
Your turn, Verge.
Unfortunately, Darla, I agree with you. I stopped taking them seriously as well. But for the people who are followers and who are followers of the pop culture, to me, he's dangerous. Okay, because he has the platform to say whatever he says, and his normal fans will go ahead and follow that. And hey, we got more zombies than we have independent thinkers.
Yeah,
I agree with everybody. And Darla, Andrea, that was an amazing question. So real quick, we only got a couple minutes left. I just want to holler at Deion Sanders and what y'all think about Deion Sanders and Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. I'll tell you my play on it, then y'all can play off me. Everybody gets a minute. I just think that it's about he said Deion wasn't really part of the whack. He wasn't the whack. And I rephrase that to everything about, when we as black people come together, we always got to put some kind of label on it to make you feel like you original. So with that being said, Andre, since you're the most level-headed of us here, tell us what you think about just that statement there alone. He said he's not the whack.
I think it's unfortunate for him to feel that way. We're all they're all out there, professionals and experts in their field, right? So no matter what, let's just play the game and be professional in that sense. There's no sense of down talking and all that stuff. Like it's not that deep to me. It's not that critical.
I agree. It's your turn.
Nope, I can't
Did you
agree.
Freeze on us?
Sis, Dre, I love you to death. Nope, can't agree. Okay, that's part of the game. That's part of the emotion. That's when you get hey, it's man eat dog in that situation, right? But if you ask me, Deion said it earlier in an earlier interview. If my confidence offends you, then that's a personal problem. That's your problem. Okay. And to be perfectly honest, Deion has done an outstanding job with that football program at Jackson State. I mean, he's done an outstanding job. You cannot take that away from prime time. He has built that program from nothing. He has got donations to give them young men opportunities to get to the NFL, brand new stadium, and hey, it's the crab in the barrel bucket for me. Coach was wrong. Coach should have said, "Hey, big up, get off and beat me this time." Right, but I'm gonna bring my dogs back to hunt you even more next time we play. Instead of, pardon my French, take the, how can I say this, less masculine route, and to be able to push them off that way. You understand?
Yeah.
But that's just my take.
All right. Okay, darling. Give it to us.
Yeah, I tend to agree more with Virgil on this topic. I think that Deion Sanders has been a wonderful example of leadership in our community, all around in a lot of different ways. And yeah, I have to side with Virgil on this one.
Well, I agree
Darlie
with you,
made my day.
like I said before.
You said that was adorable.
I just think that the biggest thing about him was that Deion's persona was just a little bit bigger than his, and I think that kind of ticked him off. But Deion's brought a whole different light to the WAC, and it's brought everything the way it's supposed to be. And he's even getting the WAC's on TV now, where it used to be like on just BET. Now it's on big time TV, and they're getting big time money. So whatever you're saying, he's doing something positive. So before I go, I want Verge to give us a real quick shout out on this purple and gold ball we was talking about earlier. Just a real quick shout out.
Yes. Giving a shout out November 5th, starting at 6 p.m. Pie Road chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated in California, Riverside. We're having a purple and gold ball. It will highlight community leaders and all the good work they're actually doing within the community, as well as acknowledging the scholarships that we have given throughout the year to sending young men to college, which is, hey, part of our cardinal principle, which is falls in line with scholarship. Rule to the bros.
All right.
Ladies, y'all got anything to say on our closing minutes?
I'm getting my outfit together, Virgil. I'll be there.
I expect nothing less. And before we go, I just want to let you know, hey, big heart right here.
All right, Andrea, we know you're gonna be there too.
I will be there too. Looking for a gold dress right now.
Okay. Birds, I probably wear the same thing, my little red tux. Well, I stand out.
Hey, looking fly as ever. Long as it ain't no skinny jeans.
Crutches, but I'll be in there. I want to thank you guys first for taking time out today to be with us here. And I want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in to Out of Bounds with T-Rex here on